Let the music come through. Europe. Peace to the gods. A little live class. Feel like going live. I've been in my head all day. It's time to get some information out. So, goodness flow was good. Peace to the gods. So, we just gonna get right into it. So, I was just watching Dr. Bruce Lipton. So, whenever y'all see this, I don't know if y'all familiar with it, but Dr. Bruce Lipton is the front runner for the subject inside of biology known as epigenetics. And shout out to the most honorable prophet, Eligio the Christ, for making us aware of this Caucasian light worker, because he really dropping some gems. And I think today, as far as God's people, African American people, we don't understand who we are. We lack knowledge of self, especially the fact that we are cells living inside our own body. And Dr. Bruce Lipton helps us understand the intricacies of being a cell and how life or your environment is shaping you as a cell directly. So genetic determinism. What is genetic determinism? Genetic determinism is simply the idea that you are a victim or subjected to the hereditary or the genes that you inherited from your past cells, which is your mother and your father. Now, these are cells that you came out of, like Chief teaches us. You are not separate from these cells. But the idea is a fallacy because it's not actually backed by any facts. It's not backed by logic. It's not backed by any objectivity. It's actually backed by what they call a central dogma. Zariah was good. Elo Mello was good. Peace, gods. It's actually backed by a central dogma. A central dogma is beliefs based in religious persuasion and not actual facts, not objectivity. So there's no science behind what they were teaching us in science class about life. So genetic determinism is the idea that you are being controlled and that you are being ruled purely by your genes, purely by your DNA. Now, look, they said that the order was, it goes from DNA to the RNA to the protein. Hold on, y'all. From DNA to the RNA to the protein. But you got to understand what DNA is. They said it was going from DNA to the RNA to the protein, but you have to understand what DNA is. DNA is the molecular blueprint for all living things. The DNA is actually not doing anything, right? Say you got a blueprint for a house and you got the constructor that's going to build the house. The blueprint or the DNA is the actual blueprint that gives you the instruction on what to build, on what to design, or what to architect. They were getting this idea confused with the constructor that's building the house, but the DNA is not doing anything. It's just the blueprint or the instructions for you to be who you are. So while that is what you are, that is not what's ruling you. That is not what you are controlled by. What's actually controlling the DNA is something outside of, well, it's not outside of the DNA, but it's the environment. Because you have to look at it like this. The DNA, it goes to the RNA. The RNA is a copy or a partial copy of a gene, right? Genes are instructions or codes that goes on to make proteins. These RNAs go out of the mouth of the cell, go out of the cell into the cytoplasm, and then they go into the body of the ribosome. The ribosome is what's reading the gene selection, and then it's creating the protein, which goes on to create a cell, which is life. So the DNA does nothing. But in order for you to create life, you need signals. The DNA is not sending any signals to the genes or to the RNA to make the life. It's the environment, right? That's why Dr. Bruce Lipton also teaches about signal transduction. Signal transduction is proteins responding to environmental signals, because without a signal, there is no behavior. Behavior creates life. Without a signal coming in, being pulled in from your environment, you as a protein, right? You're a protein. You as a protein are not able to create and become what you need to become if there's no signal creating the movement. So we got to understand with genetic determinism, the idea of you just being a victim of your hereditary or DNA just controlling you is false. It's not real. Your environment, that's why it's called epigenetics. Your environment is controlling the DNA, right? Your environment is controlling your genetic expression and your perception, because perception rules your genetic expression. Think about your environment. You are programmed inside of your environment to become who you are. Somebody told you how to be. Somebody gave you a name. Somebody told you how to eat. Somebody told you how to live. Your whole lifestyle was given to you. It's a program. It was influenced by people, places, and things in your environment. You as a cell was receiving electrical signals from your environment, and you became one with those signals. And those signals created behavior for you to create your life upon, for you to create your way of thinking upon, which is going to affect your genetic expression. So the environment is what's controlling you, right? I know some of us got family members that's dependent on the pharmaceutical company, that's dependent on the health industry. But we have to understand that the health industry and that the doctors and that the pharmaceutical companies like CVS, Walgreens, all of these companies was actually designed to destroy you. They're not actually helping you. They're actually aiding the symptoms, which is suppressing them, and then it's coming out in different forms, right? Because they're not actually giving you a solution. They're telling you, okay, you have cancer, and you believe that. Well, you believe in that belief system is what's giving you cancer. They didn't give you any facts behind it. They're not telling you what's going on. They're just telling you, hey, your body has cancer, and that's okay. But the whole time, you got to understand that your perception is what's ruling your genetic expression, like Chief T does this. So you have to understand how you think. You have to understand how your mind works. That's how you heal or you change or heal any dis-ease that you have in the body, right? All dis-ease starts from the mind. You can't have a dis-ease or be at a state of discomfort or unease if your mind is out of balance, if you don't have the necessary information or knowledge for you to live out on. So we need to understand that while we go to the pharmaceutical companies and we go to the hospitals and they tell us what's wrong with us, they're not actually helping us. They're actually suppressing what's really going on and not going to the actual root cause of the illnesses or the imbalance within our bodies. The body is a figment of the mind's imagination. So what the mind is doing, the body is doing. If you got diabetes, if you got breast cancer, if you got cancer or liver cancer or any type of imbalance in the body, it's because of how you think. You're living the wrong lifestyle. Like if you look at the virus, herpes. Herpes is a virus. If you look at what a virus does, a virus poisons or sends information to poison or alter the individual. It alters the mind. A virus is something that attacks the mind. It sends in misinformation and alters the mind and alters the being. And this is what a virus is doing. So cancer is as cancer does. When you see somebody doing and committing the wrong behaviors, it's because they have the wrong information. So you can't catch a virus. You can only become the virus and resonate and vibrate on a frequency that gives you the actual dis-ease or imbalance within you. But it all starts here first. It starts from your environment, from you knowing how to live, from you actually loving yourself and knowing how to take care of yourself. Right? So again, genetic determinism is the idea that you are being ruled and controlled by your genes, but you are not. Genes can be rewritten like Chief T does this. Your genes, which are your thoughts, right? DNA is the mind of God. It's the molecular blueprint for all living things. It is the most essential part of all living things. All living things are connected through DNA. So we need to be aware and understand that your genes can be rewritten by your perception. Perception can be rewritten. You can always change how you think. They're teaching us that, oh no, if your family members got diabetes, if your mama got breast cancer, if your father got cancer, then you're going to automatically have this. And this is not true. This is actually disempowering us because we believe so much in the system and we're being bamboozled. We're not understanding that this system is designed to destroy us. Even the people that work for the companies, the doctors, the medical nurses, all these people, they don't understand what they're actually doing. That's why Dr. Bruce Lipton, who was a biologist for 20, 30 years, He finally figured out at the end of his fucking career that, oh shit, what I was teaching people inside of science class was actually religion. Because the central dogma is beliefs based in religious persuasion and not actual facts, not scientific facts. So we were being taught persuasive lies. We were being taught opinions, subjectivity, and personal bias, depending on how the people that gives us the information, depending on how they want us to be, how they want us to operate out here in the world. That's disempowering us. And that's the whole point of you have a knowledge of self. That's the whole point of the Christ consciousness. That's the whole point of God coming back. That's the whole point of having a Messiah. You feel me? So that we can know what's going on, so that we can be given the information to know that we've been guilty of sin, to know that we've been going against nature. Not only are we going against nature, which is our environment, we're going against our human nature by not understanding who we are, and then in turn doing things that causes dis-ease and imbalances within our being. We got to understand that we are in control of our biology. You are in control of how your genes express themselves. You are in control of how you perceive your reality. Now, you can either perceive reality through the lens of misinformation or through the lens of scientific evidence, right? Through the lens of objectivity. And that's what the most honorable prophet Eligio the Christ teaches us. The most objective, pure, highest information that you have on this earth plane that'll help you get out of your situation. You can't have or feel that you're not in control of your reality when you know that, oh shit, if I place myself in the right environment, if I place myself around the people that are most conducive for my growth and my well-being, if I put the correct foods and the correct liquids in my body, if I put the correct things on my body, if I put the correct music or infomercials or programs into my being, then I can be healthy, then I can live a healthy life. Because you got to understand, your subconscious mind is your environment. Your subconscious mind is your environment. It rules 95% of your reality. You're only conscious of 5% of what's going on. You knowing and understanding this, you know that whatever you entertain or wherever you put your focus and your attention to, you become one with. So it's imperative for you to understand to be very selective and be very petty about what's going on in your environment. Because due to epigenetics, this is what's controlling and regulating your perception, how you think, and how your genes are going to express themselves. Because your genes expressing themselves it's just energy and motion, right? It's emotions. And you can't have any type of feeling or any energy emotion without having a thought first. All things come from how you think. And that's the mind. DNA is the mind. They were teaching us that, well, what our parents taught us, the information that we was given, yeah, that's what's going to rule us for the rest of our lives. But you can always change your mind. You can always have a change of thought. You can always have a change of perspective and perception on how you view things. And this is what we're not being told. And this is what's keeping us stagnant and keeping us ignorant, which is leading us to a state of suffering, which is a state of hell, where we live against our own nature. So understand that epigenetics is something that we need to be studying. It's biology. Biology, one of the 5 sciences that she teaches us. We need to be studying biology because biology is the study of all living organisms and how their relationship with each other and their environment is. We are a part of nature. Human beings are very much so a part of nature. What we are doing, nature is doing through us. We're not separate from nature. We only make up 0.01% of the species on the planet. Yet, out of all the 99.9% of the other species, we are the ones that are getting out of tune. Why is that? Because we have dominion. We're conscious beings. We can choose whether or not, well, we can't even choose because there's no free will. But right now we're in a time of awakening and understanding that we have dominion and understanding how to live in tune and in harmony with what we are. So epigenetics. I'll give you another example. Dr. Bruce Lipton did an experiment with cells. He had fat cells, tissue cells, and muscle cells. He put all of these different cells. No, actually, he had embryonic stem cells. Embryonic stem cells are blank cells that replace cells when they're ill. When cells go bad, they replace them with the embryonic stem cells. We all got thousands and thousands of embryonic stem cells because we were all born. These stem cells he placed in different Peachtree dishes, right? Just different dishes, and he put each of these Peachtree dishes in different environments, right? In different environments, and this means that he placed, okay, in this dish he put bone cells, in this dish he put muscle cells, in this dish he put fat cells. So in each three of those different Peachtree dishes, the selected stem cells that he put in those dishes, they ended up becoming the cell that was predicated upon the environment that they was in. That just goes to show you that no matter where you are at, if you are placed in a certain environment, you must become one with it. It's epigenetics. It's how your environment is ruling you. So remember, reflections, you're not a victim to your heredity. You're not a victim to whatever you thought your parents passed down. Nothing can be passed down to you. Nobody can give you anything. Same thing with the STD. Nobody can give you an STD. Nobody can give you a cancer. Nobody can give you, or you can't inherit diabetes. No, you can only resonate and vibrate on a frequency and become diabetes. You can only become cancer. You can only become an STD because of how you think and how you move, because of your behavior. You feel me? Think about it. If you ever got sick or you got too bloated and you threw up, well, it wasn't the food, it was your thinking. You were being gluttonous and greedy, and you overdid it, and you abused that certain thought, which meant you abused your body. So now this was the consequence of that thought. This is the consequence of you thinking this way. Same thing goes with liquor. You might have liver cancer, kidney failure or something when you're drinking too much. Well, my grandfather drank, my mother drank. No. Okay, yeah, you were shown that in your environment. But okay, place yourself in a different environment and feed yourself a different stimuli. Feed yourself different programs. Feed yourself somebody doing something different and watch what happens to you. You are in control of your mind. And this is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of information. Also the age of misinformation. But this is the age where we are here the Christ consciousness is here for us to empower ourselves. So you need to become your own doctor. You need to become your own nurse. You need to become your own everything first. That's why Chi teaches love thyself. I love myself because you have to love yourself and give yourself the very best first. Nobody knows what's best for you but you. But you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to your mind. Change the thoughts and release things that don't serve you no more. Outdated beliefs, outdated algorithms. Get rid of them and replace them with healthier ones that's conducive for where you're trying to go. But remember, your environment is controlling your expression. Your genetics are not determined by your heredity. It's not. It's determined by your environment. All right? So make sure you place yourself in the correct environment, around the right people, around the right information, the right food, the right liquids, all of that. Give yourself the very best. All right? You are in control. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not in control of what's going on in your body. Don't let the doctor tell you that you got cancer. Because as soon as you let the doctor tell you got cancer, you got 6 months to live, well, it's cut short to 3 months because you believed in that. It's called the placebo effect. It's called the placebo effect and the nocebo effect. They did an experiment with a sugar pill when they gave a patient a sugar pill and they gave the other patients the regular prescription medicine that they be giving them, that they give to the patients for their ailments. And the person with the sugar pill, they heal just as fast, or it has just the same effect on them as the person who took the prescription medicine that was given by the doctor. Why is this? Well, the reason why it had the same effect is because it was a belief. That's why Dr. Bruce Lipton calls it biology of belief. Your beliefs are ruling your biology. Your mind is controlling your body. What you think, so shall it be. It's biology of belief. So don't let nobody tell you that you got this, you got that, you got that. No. Go do your research for yourself. Understand what it is that's going on in your environment. Understand who you are on a cellular level. Understand that you are living inside of your own body. And you can either be a cancer cell or an immune system cell. You got to understand that your body is made of a community of cells, 1 trillion of cells that make up your body, that move as a unit. And they look up to you as God. You are the God and the controlling force and source of your body. You are the king and the queen of your body. So you have to do the right thing by the cells in your body, or If you giving them misinformation, they're going to replicate that information, and you're going to be at a state of imbalance because you put the wrong information in. So that's what it is. Genetic determinism. Your genes or your gene expression is not determined by what you inherited from your past selves. It is determined by your environment, what you give yourself. No one's in control of that. And that's so crazy. That's so crazy that we was being taught that we was being controlled and victims of our genes. Because that just left you and rendered you powerless to what's going on to you. If the whole medical industry was telling us that we were victims of our genes and what we inherited from our parents. That's not true. When they told us that and when we was taught that automatically made us powerless and made us feel like, oh, we have to be dependent on something else or someone else for us to survive. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case. So do your research. Your whole purpose of being here is for you to have knowledge of self, for you to know thyself. That's what it is. We got to know ourselves on a cellular level, astrological level, on a quantum level, on every level. We need to understand ourselves because you are determining your gene expression. You are determining how you perceive reality. All right. So reflect the light from the honorable prophet Eligio to Christ. I love myself. Free God, three God.